with allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, great, thanks. It's a special meeting on the budget. We're going to call it to order here. I just want to, if we could, because I see a lot of unfamiliar faces, so I would like to go around the room and have everybody introduce themselves so that we know, everybody knows who everybody else is. So I'm Mark Greco, Chair of the Public Safety Committee.
Paul Conley, Vice Chair of Public Safety Committee.
Anthony DiMartino Jr., District Attorney.
Chuck Berger.
Don Hilton, Chair.
Jim Hall, Probation Director and Stop DUI Coordinator.
Wonderful. Kathy Palmatasso, Director of Emergency Management.
Kevin Pooley, 911 Director.
Jessica Danner, Deputy Clerk of the Legislature.
Frank Castillo, County Legislator.
Is that you?
They gave me that title, you know, I mean, sometimes.
Sometimes? Okay. Mary Eleanor.
Hemorrhoid the rest of the time.
No, Frank. Mary Eleanor Mel Chesbro, County Legislator.
Bill Church, County Administrator.
Back here.
Brian Taylor, elected 25th. Frank White.
Welcome.
Lee Walker Jr., elected County Legislator.
Who's next?
Jim Cannon, resident of Bolton.
Welcome.
Director Caldwell.
Jenna Richards, Dispatch Coordinator.
Aaron Albrecht, Search and Rescue Coordinator.
Shane Loves, Fire Coordinator.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Okay, we're doing the budget review. I guess it looks like we're going to start on the agenda with search and rescue.
Page 2? No,
Okay.
yeah, page 2.
Page 2.
On project line identified by OCSR, $8,500.
Any questions on that? Any issues? All right, he has some extra expenses for training this year. Go ahead.
I asked in the last meeting to have all these acronyms spelled out somewhere, because a lot of people don't know. Right, I didn't know what that, the OCSR stood for. I didn't. And I looked in my fancy, nice little pamphlet we have here, and it wasn't in there. So, I mean, I would just like, in the future, or when this comes out for the final, that we add some description as to what all the acronyms mean. I know that we went through this book, and that's what we did it for, and it'd just be nice because there's people that don't know what it means. Chuck, you heard me feel the last time. I'm only going to say it once because there's a lot of them in here that have questions on, as to what they are.
Understandable.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions? Do we have to ask for every, or just move on? I'm not sure.
You have to have a motion and a second and vote on each of the budgets.
Okay, so,
In discussion.
all right, so I'll call for a motion. Motion, we got a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Castillo.
The department had requested 7,000, we went up to 85. What was the request for? Why?
Additional training costs. They're experiencing additional training costs, that's why I went up. I said that before, I wrote it out.
I know that the department had only asked for 7, but the budget officer threw it up to 85.
Additional training costs.
It was a request that came in after the departments submitted their.
Okay, all right, okay, then that explains it, okay, thank you.
Any others? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's move on. Air One.
Also page 2, second one down, $10,000.
Okay, this is standard, right? We do this year after year. Can I get a motion to approve Air One? A motion, we got a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, District Attorney's Office.
Page 7.
Can I get a motion and discussion? Motion to approve, Earl.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion to approve. Got a second? Okay.
I wanted to bring up something. Is this a good time to do this? It's during discussion, yeah.
Yes. It's open for discussion. I'll recognize.
Okay, so there, Anthony DiMartino, District Attorney. There was a line item, A11653, scratch that.
A1165545300. Titled uniforms, etc.
Page 9.
Page 9. We requested 5,000 in our original budget discussions, and it seemed to not cross over. And it came in with 0 in this budget. We're asking for that position, that line to be funded at 5,000. Currently, we're at approximately $3,000.
So we got a motion to amend the budget, correct?
Yep, you need a motion in a second.
Can I have a second? We got a second, we got a motion, we got a second. Okay, any discussion on this? So, go ahead, ask questions.
I'm just asking the line number again, please.
It's on page 9, in the middle, first one up says uniform and clothing in the middle of the page, on the bottom of the.
545300.
Uniform and clothing, okay, all right, okay. It's gone down to 0, and now you're asking for it to go back up.
What exactly consists of uniform?
Well, it's a general fund for, we have 3 investigators, includes providing fire weapons, ammunition, handcuffs. So we've gone up from 1 to 2 investigators. In addition to that, it includes badges as well. So, and it's a very general fund, though it's named, etc. But I'm just giving you some generalities of what's its used.
For the investigator.
Yes, investigators and anybody else who needs it in the district attorney's office, including our DA investigators.
Is it something that people can share, or is it that their personal one that they have?
It's personal.
Yes,
It's personal.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Thanks.
Any opposed? One opposed, motion carries. Note that it's amended to 5,000. Any other discussion for the district attorney? Mr. Castillo?
Let's see, page 8, furniture and furnishings. In 2025, we spent $73,000. Now we're asking for another $2,500. In 2026. I'll make a motion to remove it.
No, we're about to change, right?
Oh, 81165-521000, furniture and furnishings.
Yeah.
It's on page 8.
I see it.
I mean, I think we would have had it pretty well furnished here in 2025.
Well, if they fill vacancies, there's going to be a need for additional chairs and mats.
Right, but that's like saying, let me buy a dress I might get after go to the prom.
These are contingency funds, just like every other budget. So, as legislator indicated, anticipation, $2,500 is not a lot.
No, it's not. It's not a lot of money. Still taxpayer money, and I just spent $73,000 of taxpayer money in 2025, and I'm making a motion to remove the $2,500.
Updated office that hadn't been updated in 40-some years.
Okay, well,
All right, so he's made a motion to remove this, right? Do we have a second?
I don't think so.
No, we don't.
That's all.
All right, thanks for the motion. Any other discussion?
We got some. Let's wait a second. Page 7. We've got line items, salaries and wages. The assistant DAs. The department's asked for 83,000 on the 2 of them, and it's going up to 102 and 130.
Those, yes.
Okay, of course, yes.
So those are 2 assistant DAs that came in during this term, that their salaries were passed through resolution and salaries were set through the FMK as required as course of business, so to speak. So there are 2 new ADAs that came in 2025.
Great. Any other questions? Any other questions? For the DA's budget? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on to E911.
Page 40.
Finished your budget, by the way. You're not obligated to stay for the rest if you'd like to get up. You'll proceed here. You know, everybody's time is valuable, so as we roll through, if you want to get up and leave, you're free to do so. I'll point that out. It's good if you're determined, so.
May I leave?
You certainly may.
Approve to leave?
Yeah.
Wait a second.
That's why I said it. I don't want people sitting here that don't need to be here. We all have work to do.
Thank you.
Aaron, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. Appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
Thank
You too.
Danger. Don't fill out, like, sorry.
Your highlighter.
All right, so we're on page 40, E911. Can I get a motion to approve? You got a motion? You got a second? Any discussion?
There are a couple highlights I'd like to go through. If I
Sure,
take a
I'd
couple
like you
seconds.
to. Yeah.
So as you were looking down through the salaries and wages section, you'll notice that there were a few positions that say original budget showed 35 hours versus 40. So that was a miscalculation through HR that I did not cap in the final revision before it went to the budget officer. So that's the changes that are in those particular positions. Beyond that, I'm requesting one reclassification for line 3020.
What page?
That's on 40. 811, the 911 quality control specialist, the FPC. That we had a retirement this year, and in order to follow national standards to be able to refill that position, it needs to be at pay grade that's too higher than what it was because of new standards and the training of the people that we currently have that will be able to move into that position going forward. They're already at positions higher than this, so we would have to, well, we can't move people backwards in positions. So in order to refill that, I'd have to be 2 positions higher. So that's that reclassification.
Okay.
I do have also a, on page 41, A3020542200, repairs and maintenance equipment. There was an increase in that as well for the request, our tower vendor. We currently do not have a contract with. Our previous one, unfortunately, person we did a lot of dealings with, did a lot of business with, we had passed away, and our new contracts that are coming through are all people that are out of state, and we're expecting those expenses to be extremely higher. So there were some increases there, as well as if you want to go through, and if there's any questions from that, I do have 2 additions that just came through with the grant that I had mentioned at Public Safety last week. So,
All right, any questions before we move on to some other issues? Mr. Castillo.
I just want to make a statement here on other equipment. A30205260 other equipment was 1,000,007, and we dropped it down to 269. We went to a capital project just so that other people in the winter will know what we're doing. It's just we're moving the costs around someplace else. It's not something that we're eliminating or anything like that. It's just gets moved. We're going to do it through a capital project instead of on the budget.
yeah, there's $1.5 million Next Generation Now One grant that we've been awarded already, and we're just move that out of the budget, as well as the expenses side of it as well, or the revenue side of it, I should say also, which is
Page 42.
page 42. You'll see the other side of that. So it's a $1-for-$1 reimbursement grant that I'll be coming to Public Safety with this next cycle to request for that, so that we can start the beginnings of that project, which will be a very large project. But
The reason I removed it, even though it's a 1-for-1, it doesn't affect the levy, is in case this project spans more than one fiscal year. It's better to have it in a capital project than in in your annual operating budget.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just, another question is on, page 42. Total revenue was to the good for 3,000,003 and went down to 1,000,008.
That's because of the removal of that.
That's 1.5.
For that grant.
Moving it into the
Yeah,
capital.
okay.
Yep.
And so that's the same thing up above where you went on the state aid, other public safety, it went from 2 million down to 959. Just so people, the people that are going to see this and,
Well, it's all red on the footnote, isn't it?
well, not, but to see that move over there, it's not there. The footnote is up here, yes, okay? But not everybody gets to see the footnote. Okay. So, all right, thank you very much. Oh, I had one of, so do we get more, are we getting more state money from,
No.
the
Well, I mean,
taxes that they put on it? Is the distribution, has it changed?
So this NG 911 grant that we're talking about, the $1.5 million, that is coming out of the 911 surcharge funds.
Okay.
Additional funds from what we're being told, and then the other proposal that I have for you to add is a emergency services information network grant that's actually coming out of separate money, not 911 surcharge funds.
Okay, so, I mean, it would be a lot more money if we got what we really
Agreed.
should get. And it'd be helping us a lot, I mean, I think 911 is an essential part of the service to the whole county, and state's robbing us blind.
I mean, we're at
I
a
think
point
we are.
where this one year, we're looking at approximately $155 million being turned back to the counties. The NG 911 grant is a 5-year term contract period, so we don't expect that to be funded every year going forward, but that $145 million is still out of approximately $360 to $370 million that the state's taking in on that one surcharge funds.
And they're just putting it into their general fund. They're not putting it back, back into us. So, thank you very much.
Well, any other questions for Kevin?
So I do have one addition.
Okay.
Since I mentioned at the last week's meeting that there's a emergency services information network grant, EZNet it's called, that was recently put out, and every county is getting a equal division of that. The total amount of that grant is $689,655, which I would request that we add that to that A3020 on page 42, sorry, A3020433890, state aid, other public safety. And then I would also like to add that same amount into A3020 5260
Which
41. So we'll go into other equipment.
First, second.
Okay.
What line? What's the name of the line?
So the income or revenue.
Those are both the same
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry, revenue or expense, my bad, sorry.
It's
It's different.
it's the other, I got it.
Other equipment, yes. So coming out, they're going into state aid, other public safety, being expensed out of other equipment.
It raises the budget, but it does not raise the tax.
All right, so we need a motion to amend. Can I get a motion to amend for this grant? Got a motion, can I have a second? Thank you, multiple seconds. All right, so the motion is to amend the budget in amount of a grant totaling $689,655.
Correct.
And to be added to state aid, other public safety line, Adam 3020-433890 on page 42. We have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any discussion? All in favor? Motion carried. Opposed? Motion carries.
Can
Okay.
you just send me the name of the grant?
Yes.
Any other discussion for 911 before we approve the budget?
And we did catch the other equipment expense line for that. Correct.
Yeah, they got it.
Gotcha.
Everybody understood? Just one first guy go.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, hearing no further discussion, all in favor of passing the budget? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, Kev, thank you. All right, moving on, we have the sheriff. Can I get a motion to pass the sheriff budget, please?
Page
Motion, got a
43.
second? Page 40, what?
43.
43. We got a second. Any discussion?
I will, okay.
Any discussion?
Is this all the jail and everything else, or is it just the sheriff? The whole ball of wax.
Yep.
That's the way we like to do it around here, Frank.
Okay, well, sometimes things get changed, so I have a question for the sheriff.
Go ahead, Mr. Castillo, ask your question.
Well, in the past, I don't see it here, but the jail, we had a person that ran the jail for us, right? Didn't we, there was you, and then there was a deputy, you know, and then there was a person that ran the jail. We don't have that anymore, right?
No, he retired.
So we haven't replaced him.
No, what we did was, we put 2 lieutenants in charge of it. They're both younger guys. They wanted to, we split the responsibilities. They did not want to leave civil service protection. They don't have enough years on for retirement. So they're doing the job that the administrator did before.
It's, you know, it's good. One thing I am going to mention is I looked at the salaries, and I see that you know, your assistant, your deputy sheriff, under sheriff is getting right up there. So, and I know that yours is voted on by us.
Yes.
And his is, you know.
Well, there's every intention to raise the sheriff's salary in the budget.
Right,
So
there is.
that's it, yes. Every intention.
But, you know,
I know the under sheriff's going to be making more money than him, so.
right, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, we understood. Everybody's aware.
Okay. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying it's good. Just
No, it's a
making it
good
all
point.
right.
Sure,
Okay?
no, we're aware of it.
Now, Sheriff, you still have vacancies, correct?
Road patrol, I think we just have 8 out on the road now, recruits. I think probably by the time the next academy rolls around, we'll have 5 or 6, just attrition, is the way it works. And I think we have 6 openings in the jail.
Okay.
Civil positions are all filled at this point.
And so all those positions, though we have money enough in the budget for them, should you be fortunate enough to get
Yeah,
them?
they're budgeted lines.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure they're covered. Okay.
I have another question.
I actually have one first, Frank.
Go ahead. Well, I'm just letting you know.
Well, I give you a think, so you've got time to think over there, what your question's going to be.
I know what my questions are.
How do we do with the academy? I know early on when we set this up, did it work out all right? I know we're talking about needing extra members.
Across the board, all the agencies involved love it. It's putting out quality.
So people are sending in instructors and stuff, not giving us an extra burden?
No.
Budget-wise?
So it
I
worked
know
out
that's a
very
concern.
well.
Good, awesome. Thank you. All right, Frank, go ahead, you're up.
In the past, we had issues with sending prisoners to other jails. And we usually have a large budget for that. Where is it in here now?
We've cut down considerably on that.
I know you have.
The biggest thing was female inmates.
Right.
The number of female inmates has increased in the last 3 or 4 years since COVID. I don't know why, but so what we managed to do was the 2 lieutenants jockeyed stuff around in the jail, created a bigger women's unit, and it's cut down a lot on it. Always the biggest thing we're going to run into is when somebody is sent to a mental health facility. We can't predict that, and that kills us.
When I first came, 2013, 2014, it was $1 million is what we were spending by sending prisoners out. I think you're doing an excellent job of keeping
The lieutenants are doing a great job.
down. And also what I've noticed, and I asked Phil about it, is the replacement patrol car. I noticed that, and he explained to me how that's going. So it's, the budgeting and the costs are being kept in good control. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
I think we all agree with that sentiment.
I see in 24 you had 330,000 going for the females for housing in other facilities. We're down to 100,000. So there you are.
It's, I can't vote no.
In that case, all in favor of passing the sheriff's budget? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to probation. Can I get a motion to approve the probation budget and stop DWI both? All right, we got a motion, we got a second. Page 55. Any questions, any discussion? Dave, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I did have an amendment that I wanted to make if I could.
Okay.
We, line 3140, on page 57, 54, 5500 CBI, other supplies and expenses for a grant we get. We just found out they're actually going to approve us for 30,000 instead of 24, but it's net zero because there's also a revenue line that's exactly the same. So.
Okay. So we'll need to amend it for the grant.
Motion second discussion.
Kind of a motion to amend the grant funding.
Make the motion.
The motion, we got a second. Discussion, let's just clarify what lines, I'm sorry.
Sure. So, expenditure line 3140 545,500. CBI is the project.
Okay, I see it.
And then the other line is 3140 433,890. CBI project.
What page is that one on?
58. Yep.
You got this?
I do.
Okay. All right, any discussion on that? Go ahead, Frank.
What does CBI stand for?
Cognitive Behavioral Intervention. It's a program that we do in the jail.
Fair question. Fair question. All right, hearing no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. Thank you. Any opposed? All right, the amendment passes. Back to the original. Any further discussion on the probation budget?
Just a
Frank?
comment, my costing us 2,081. Okay.
It's just a statement, or you have a
Just a
question?
service, yeah, just make a statement,
Okay,
you know,
that's fair.
it's a service.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Dave. Free to go if you want. All right, here we go. Emergency management and EMS. Can I get a motion to approve? Got a motion? We got a second. We're on page 64. Kathy, you want to say anything before we
Sure.
open it up for questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Just wanted to clarify some of the items. We definitely had a challenging year in debating what we would do in our department to keep operational. Preparing a budget in July is kind of hard for us. We don't know yet when we're going to receive some of the grant funding that we do. We have grants right now that we have not received any indication that we've received, so that had to be offered up in the budget line to sure that we can hit those operational costs. What I did do, based on the fact that our department continues to support a lot of severe weather events, and they seem to be changing, and this one looks like things similar to last year. And with that being said, we hope that people have taken a look at what some of the things that maybe they challenged them last year, and hopefully have done some things to their home or to just in general to help better prepare them. With that being said, I wanted to create a position within our department of a deputy director of emergency management, so someone that would be my backup, as well as would be able to back up the radiological program in general too. As it stands right now, Phil is my backup, and I'm sure he has other duties that keep him a little occupied during emergency. With that, it would provide another leadership role, a decision-making capability. As we saw, our EOC, Emergency Operations Center, was activated for 3 weeks last year through that winter weather storm. So never take a good emergency without learning something and putting it back into your department. So I wanted to create that position as well as reclassify a position to create a training specialist. With the lesson of federal and state training opportunities, we need to bring it in-house so we're better prepared as a agency to help the community. We also have a retirement impending in February, so I asked for a temporary red specialist position, so we have some turnover for that position. A couple other highlights. The ACWA contract is very strapping for us. We have 3 positions within the ACWA contract that don't allow us to pay overtime for such reasons. For any type of emergencies that we have, they're not overtime eligible positions, and according to the ACWA contract, we cannot give them the comp time in lieu of that that's been a clarification, something we haven't done previously. So I added some additional hours, I added some overtime to this budget to ensure that we have that capability, and have also asked to include some of those position titles and overtime for the next contract that I know you guys are working on. So those are some of the highlights. Also with the EMS and the drone budgets, they both have historically been somewhat funded with ARPA funding. This will be the first year that they're not any type of ARPA funding, so they will on the county coffers. So our budget, while it looks a little bit increased, it's definitely necessary. So with that, we'll take any additional questions.
Any questions for Jack?
Right?
Right, go ahead.
But the reason, if you refresh, somebody refreshed me a little bit here, because when I first started, I questioned the EMO budget. And I was putting my place in that this is not taxpayer money. This is money that we get from the nuke plants.
That's correct. Some,
okay? And now it's not anymore, right? I mean, you know what happened to us that, that all of a sudden now we're gonna get, and I know, I see we went from $9,000, good revenue to costing us $224,000. And I know it's because of the drone,
Yes.
okay, but is there,
The other piece of that is we have had the same budget for 14 years in EMO. We're going to outgrow that operationally and personnel-wise, and we aren't guaranteed the $375,000 based on the current Article 2B, which we should get about $75,000 less this year. I know you guys are working on that, but I'm not guaranteed that $375 that's in this budget currently.
and I'm not saying that you guys aren't needed, and I'm not saying that you guys aren't, doing a good job. That isn't what I'm saying here. What I'm saying here is that originally the EMO was put in there because we had a new plant right near us, I believe. But that was before me. But that's why they would be funding us. And now the other funding that's needed is from federal and state money, because what we do at EMO is a service that should be covered by state and federal because of the emergencies that are thrown at us. The only thing that wouldn't be, and my question is on the drone project, okay? They may not fund something like that, but I'm just saying that there's money in here, and if I vote no on it, it's not because of, anything you're doing, and it's because of what is not being sent to us. The new plants should be giving us more, so that it is covered everything, and the state and federal government should be giving us more, because they're the ones that control our responses and what we need. If we get flooding from the lake, if we get flooding, if we get those guys. I just don't think that we should be, local sheriff should come into this at all. I think it should all come out of the state and federal government, because the services that you provide, just like 911, the sheriff, okay, that's all something that is very, very important, and it should be covered by state and federal money as well as.
Thank you, Frank. Just want to Phil's got to clarify some of this stuff, so.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, all counties do have emergency management offices that comes out of the U.S. civil defense systems. What makes us unique is we have the nuclear plants, and not all counties have radiological divisions and radiological responsibilities. Kathy is right. We receive about a total of $525,000 each year from the nuclear power plants to help fund the radiological program. But that has been that way for forever, whereas costs increase. So eventually, you are going to see a net county cost on these, because the state and the companies have not increased those funds. I did meet with the State Division of Budget a couple of weeks ago regarding the $375,000 we received. Pointed out the problems with that distribution formula they have, especially with the closure of Indian Point. So, and we're working on proposing a fix within the new state budget to make that a more equitable distribution of that radiological fund, to give it to the counties that have actually have operating nuclear plants. Because right now, 63% of the radiological fund is still going to the downstate counties that no longer have nuclear plants. So hopefully we're going to see that increase in the future. We also just negotiated a new tax agreement with Constellation that was to our favor. So we've got more funds coming in. And to the deputy, I think it's a good idea. When you have an operation like the sheriff or EMO that can be 24/7, and you have it's a public safety, we should have a second in there. Kevin,
Remember,
step
that's
up
why-
and ask for I'm trying to get this step in the right
Right,
direction.
well, that's why, when that vote came up, that's why I voted to increase the amount of money that we're gonna receive. Both are split from the other two entities and also more from nuke plant. I mean, because we're the ones that bear the burden,
Right.
and that's why I wanted more money.
Getting more from the
But-
radiological
yeah.
fund is in progress, that's what I'm getting.
And in fairness, we had a pretty good deal with the new plants. They might not have specifically said, here's more money for EMO, but
One thing that leaves that too is we're trying to separate what is radiological response and what is regular response just to help the community. And that's one thing that I try to be very vigilant about, like what are we spending funds on that aren't radiological, that are just for the community? And I think that that's an important piece that we've got to take into consideration with the funding.
And EMS is another component.
Yes.
as far as the drug program goes, I think it's an absolute success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Necessary. We're leading the state and the nation in this, I think, in many areas. So I think it's a great thing. So, any other questions for Kathy?
Just that I hope your 375 actually goes up, not goes down.
I hope so.
That's ridiculous that 63% is downstate.
Yeah, but I feel the pain.
So 63% of the representatives.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so we'll call for a vote. All in favor, passing the budget?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Kathy. Does that include, is EMS included in all that?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, much strong.
Fire advisory, moving on. Can I get a motion to approve the fire advisory board committee? Department committee, okay, good. We got a motion, got a second, page 69. 61. Motion, we got a second. Any discussion? You want to say a few words, Shane, about your budget?
There wasn't much of an increase over last year. Kind of some redundant stuff that's in there from last year because of unexplained expenses this year that we talked about. The fit test machine that we had to purchase so that firefighters could get their respiratory test done due to the company closing locally. Unexplained expenses, the facility's 30, 40 years old. Some things are starting to break, and an $8,000 electrical job wasn't expected last year. So some of the money that I had in my last year's budget is put in this budget so I can do the projects I want to do this year, next year.
Any questions?
Do you foresee any major equipment needs?
Not regarding that. I've got something I'll be bringing forward in the future. Looking for a building for our storage, but I'll bring that more forward. But no major purchases. I did that this year.
That's what I thought. We went through quite a few, and I'm hoping, okay.
Just took delivery today of one of the trailers that we bought. The second one's coming Wednesday, so they're stuff's starting to come in now.
Good. Mr. Castillo, you have a question?
Certainly.
Sometimes it's a statement, so.
Well, yeah, it all depends. The training that we do, okay, that we charge our municipalities that are in the county. Do they get any kind of a discount because they're in-county municipalities versus somebody coming from?
There is two different price levels. In-county is basically, it's covering just the cost, just the expense. Where out of county in corporations, they pay more. So basically, when a volunteer fire department, a Oswego County Fire Department comes, the flat rate's like $4 and some change, $450 some, I think is what it is.
Per person or?
Nope, for 4 hours.
Okay. Wow.
So, and if those 4 hours, if they want to use the burn building, the outside props, they want to jump out windows, they tell us what they want to do, that's the price. And then we invoice them, their departments, or their districts, or their villages, and that's what it costs to come down there.
Okay. Now, there's a second part to that question in that I know you've seen that the city of Fulton's is projected to receive $250,000 for their training center. And the statements are made because they have to send people downstate and out of the county to get the type of training. Is that the kind of training that we can do in our facility at the county, or is it, and if it isn't, how much would it cost us to have it to be able to done that way?
So, it's kind of long.
I know it's, yeah.
So some of the training I think the chief was speaking about is the recruit firefighter training. That's 229 hours. That's what a career firefighter coming out of the fire academy earns, works for. They need that to work in a career fire department. The issue there is, one, I don't have a facility. I have all the little pieces, but I don't have housing. I don't have restaurant. I don't have a food thing for them to feed them every day, because they go and they stay. So like in Montour Falls, where the state academy is, there were some large renovations this year. The classes weren't as big. So they've had to send people to either Watertown or Jefferson County. So the new recruits in Fulton right now are coming, they've got a few more weeks and they're in the Watertown Academy. With that being said, that academy class came to our facility to do live fire training. So it's, in the other part of that question, I think where you're going is that it costs overtime. So there's minimum manning in the city, so they have to maintain that. And then in order to, guys don't do this for free in the career service, they got to either replace the shift down if something shift down, or they get paid while they're here. So there is an expense to that. It can get pretty expensive.
So we could, if the money was there to be able to do it, and do it in county, and then we would be able to bring in revenue from other counties sending their people here. If you had the facility.
Potentially. It was something
I'm sorry. Are you talking about like a facility where we can feed people and everything? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, that would be. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if that's what you're going at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's I'm telling you because it would be a revenue source with services that you're the Oswego wouldn't have to send people up to Watertown. Fulton would have to send people up to Watertown, down to Poughkeepsie, is it they said?
Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen. Kind of close, P and a W.
It was something that
I'm just saying, I would be in favor of that, but I won't be here to vote on it. But that's what I'm asking.
It was something that I did look into when I first started, because there was an issue with the state. I call it the 20-year rotation. Depends on when the groups were hired, they're losing massive amounts of paid staff. So when I came, I started looking at numbers, and at the time it wasn't feasible, because obviously we'd be paying for hotel rooms, have to feed them. The logistics of that would have been a nightmare.
The cost of building a facility would be even a bigger nightmare, though. Let's
Well,
face it.
you get
I mean, it sounds like a great
state-
idea. It's great, but in the end, what's the total cost? I mean, we just got like $8-10 million at the repair in Bunner Street. I mean, you're not going to build a new facility for housing and food.
How many people you got to house at a time?
Well,
Usually the classes are
20-30 million.
about, I think their max is 30 per class, and it's a 15-week course. And like the state was running back to back, so they were, like when I went, they were 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. They were running dual classes. So, it's
I get
a lot of
what you're saying,
logistics.
Frank.
Yeah,
the reason I'm saying is,
right.
well, there's got to be, some funding out there somewhere, Mr. Greco. These other counties did it, and I don't think they did it, out of the kindness of their heart to do it. I think they did it for a revenue source, and I think we would be a good spot. We got a good facility, good grounds out there for it, okay? And we could get down to no prisoners, maybe we can house them there. But okay, thank you very much. You know, I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you, Shane.
But couldn't you do something where it's a dual thing, where you're utilizing local hotels and restaurants to feed and house?
It was something I looked into, but again, that means those people are there for 15 weeks.
Yeah.
That times 5 days. I mean, a lot of the hotels, I mean, look at like Super Dirt Week.
Yeah.
And that's, some of these dates they go, the schooling is
They're
done.
shut down, yeah, they're all full.
So,
It's the same issue we run into with the police academy. It would be great if we had a facility like that, because we would have probably triple the number of recruits if they had a place to stay. But now they commute back to, some of them commute every day for like an hour and a half.
Do both of them together, you
Yeah.
know, with facilities.
The EC Academy took over up there in Pulaski.
Right.
Yeah.
Transfer station, I don't know how much that's
Yeah.
used.
they do, I think they use that quite a bit.
Yeah, we do a lot of our training up there with them. They train me back and forth quite a bit.
Explore for a future project, right? Dig into that a little bit, come up with the cost, and
A good idea.
see if we could find some funding.
I have one other question, a general question. Do we have EMTs at all of our fire stations?
I want to say there's some type of medical, there could be either CFR, Certified First Responder, or EMT. That's why Nate has been working so hard with getting classes locally and trying to get new people. And then now with City BOCES, I believe next year they're starting an EMT. So a 2-year student, a 11th to 12th grader, they'll be coming out with an EMT certification from the state if they complete the 2-year program.
That's something you guys put funding into through the ARPA that we moved last year for
Right.
city BOCES to have that program.
Right. Now, just wondering if we're able to cover all of them, volunteer as well as. paid.
Yes, like the firefighters in Fulton, they're all EMTs or higher. Same thing with the city of Oswego, they're medics or paramedics.
Yeah.
So the 2 career departments definitely do. Novellis has their own rescue squad. Most of them are all basic EMTs or certified first responders. So, but to say each department, kind of going out on a limb, but
Yeah.
there's some type of emergency training there.
Okay. I was just curious how well we're covered. Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? We'll wrap it up. Hearing none, all in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That's it. Any other business you want to discuss on the budget, Kathy?
I just have a question. I was looking at the agenda for F&P, and I know in years past, we've also gone to F&P to finance and personnel. Okay. If there was any questions on our budget, I didn't see that in the agenda, so I'm assuming that we don't have to.
F&P puts on any changes that the jurisdictional committees make.
Okay.
And they can make others on
Okay.
their own too, to anybody's budget.
Okay.
Then they produce the tentative.
Okay. That's all I had questions.
All right, hearing nothing else, all in favor of adjournment? Okay, got a second? Okay. Thank you for coming in. Conduct the meeting. Good luck to all of you with your budgets and